don't use that.
Happy Thursday, folks. We got Safi here. We got Dainsy here.
Thursday, it's football time.
We
Let's
are ready for some more props and some previews of this week to come. Welcome to Sports Scholars.
Wow.
Let's get this day going, guys.
Another week 2.
Wow.
Let's go, guys.
What a start to the season. That was a crazy start to the season. We had some really good games. I don't think I've had so much fun for a start of the season.
Me too, man.
I had the ribs going. I had the beer going. I was just like, all the games seemed to be good games, and definitely some fantasy fallouts from that first week.
100%.
Keep in mind, though, guys, fantasy is more of a marathon than it is a time to panic.
Yeah, especially week 1. There's a lot of overreactions in week 1.
Always going to be overreactions. This goes for most major sports, by the way. A lot of the moves you make in week 1, if you're dropping someone or you're doing that, like, sometimes they pan out, but sometimes you end up dropping someone that is super good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, definitely don't want to be doing that.
You'll find the gems like the Cordarrelle Pattersons from last year that you can hang on to the whole year, and they're like fancy gems, but it's rare, you know.
Exactly.
Look at Elijah Mitchell and stuff, right? Like guy's already injured. Like,
Already injured. Oh, that's terrible. Man, I want to kind of go over, Matt. We actually put out some numbers for you guys. We were looking at all of our statistics of some of the things, if you guys caught our last episodes, tuned into our last podcast.
Our props episode, yep.
Props episodes for last week, and then kind of seeing where our hunches were at as well. So kind of let's get into it. Matt, for some of the things you said last week, I'm looking right here.
I was pretty hit and miss for a couple things, but for the most part, I had a pretty good success rate when it came to my hunch picks. My actual bets, were about 50-50, but my hunch picks, for the most part, both of our hunch picks were pretty spot on, man. I think we killed it in week 1.
I agree, man. I mean, And just to clarify, guys, hunch picks is like, those are the things that we think the way that the game's going to go. We're killing you guys. What to stay away from, what to look at. We wrote it down for you guys. So, Matt, a couple of things that you mentioned in the last video. You thought David Montgomery would not do well against San Francisco rush defense. Man, you're spot on that. You thought that San Francisco continue mixing in rushing with
Deebo
Samuels.
Yep.
You ended up actually at the end of it at 69% correct rate. So if you guys tuned into that last episode and you listened to Matt and you listened to his, hunch picks, CD Lamb coverage, Henry 100 yards a little high, risky Green Bay receivers, Matt was right on 69% of those things.
And if you followed Safi all the way through the Green Bay Vikings game, well, you probably took the week off work because you made some money this week because Safi cleaned house, man. My guy swept the board in that game. So proud of him, but he knows his stuff.
Got that one. Yeah,
he bet on Justin Jefferson. He bet on A.J. Dillon. They have big games. Jefferson, whoo! Boy,
yeah,
was I wrong about that one.
I was pretty pumped. Definitely won that one. Definitely crapped the bet on some games. San Francisco game wasn't a strong suit for me last week.
But that's going to happen, and we're not going to be perfect.
Yeah,
Can you show that chart?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna show you guys what we need here. So, and mind the pie graph colors. We still work in progress here. So we're looking here. These are some of the hunch picks of Matt's. Some of the things you would have taken away from listening to that last podcast.
I see a lot of green there. Some red, but a lot of green.
These are the actual props bets. Now, you guys yourselves can mix and match and figure out which ones that you like, which ones that you dislike. Matt was right on about 50% of his props picks. Some of these you guys may have not taken. 2 of them were kind of marred by injury.
He says he can't see it.
Yeah, we can definitely zoom in here. How do we do that though? Edit. File, zoom.
It's okay. We can work on it later.
Nope. Not even sure how to zoom in there. But anyways, it was pretty good. And then for me, myself, I did a way more predictions than Matt, and 50-50 guys. But there you go. I actually had a good streak here on the props bets where I pretty much cleaned house. If you were to take 4 of these props bets, which I did, you're actually winning really good money, especially on the Vikings Green Bay game.
Absolutely, you cleaned house, my guy.
I don't think I got one wrong. Control with the plus sign. I can do that actually, Sam.
There we go.
There we go. So you guys can see here some of the picks for Matt, and then some of the actual betting props for me. I did the receiving, right? 50-50 in receiving about.
And
rushing a little bit under because I got marred by that Elijah Mitchell injury. I did smash the Jonathan Taylor into Dalvin Cook. And then also my hunch predictions and my quarterback props were pretty darn good there, guys. I pretty much, I kind of agreed with Matt and Jalen Hurts, but I said bet on your stars in the Viking games. Aaron Rodgers under, stay away from Javonte, bad day for Baker. Also, I did a couple of gut check picks. These are picks that are not made with intense statistics, but I knew Myles Garrett was going to get a sack, and I knew Baker Mayfield was going to throw an INT, so I did hit that one there, guys.
You killed it, man. What a great job.
So what a successful week.
I think so. For an unpredictable week 1 where you don't know what's going to happen, I think we killed it, man. And like we said when we first started this podcast, we're going to keep ourselves honest and our credibility on point. And we're going to show you guys our win-losses. I think there's a lot of experts with their picks. They don't normally show they don't get paid to show the ones that they lose, and a lot of people
100%.
get upset because they're like, oh, you guys lose more than you win, and like you guys are fake and stuff like that. You're a joke. Well, at least with us, we're
keeping it honest, guys, in the sense that there's nothing that you will see put into these statistics that are not something that you guys could have got by watching last video. For example, I actually did a personal kind of bet that I liked on Juju Smith-Schuster that hit on both the receptions and both the yards. That's not included in there because you guys didn't get that information. That was kind of like an on-the-fly decision that I thought that, 5 minutes before the game, before I could release the video, I thought that would hit. But if we put something into our videos, we are tracking our statistics. We're going to let you guys know what the results are, so you guys can make an informed decision for yourselves. We just want to get better odds than what these other websites are giving you.
Absolutely.
What these other cookie sites are giving you, where they're all mentioning the same props.
Yeah.
We want to give you guys some information where you can mix and match and really make some.
And we're not just talking reading stats off a sheet. We're actually genuinely watching the games. I think I watched about 8 games this past weekend. You watched most games.
I watched every one.
We followed little things, and we just went with our feelings, man. Like, no stats, no facts. We were legit like, okay, like Juju, they're going to be spreading the ball around in KC. Like, Juju is the wide receiver 1 on that team technically, but he's not going to be playing he's not going to get Devontae Adams 12 receptions a game, right? 12 targets.
Just things that we've
little things we notice.
Knowledge over the years, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get good at this stuff when you do it for so long.
Absolutely.
Now, Matt, let's get into. We have a huge game.
Huge Thursday
tonight,
preview tonight. Yeah.
Was Kansas versus Chargers.
The 2 juggernaut offenses for sure.
That's nuts.
That's gonna be a great.
That's gonna be a crazy game.
Yeah.
Now, last year I saw this weird thing that was happening where it's like, anytime you thought there was a big game that was gonna happen, it was gonna be super high scoring. It was like
game.
It was not.
Always
and we
becomes
would
a trap
call
game.
it a trap game because
it
would trap you into thinking Mahomes, Herbert,
bet all the overs.
Gotta be, all huge high scoring, and it would so rarely be that way last year.
Yeah.
That being
you
said,
have to temper your expectations.
Sometimes you gotta temper your expectations.
Yeah.
That being said, Mahomes Herbert, you're not having fun if you're not betting the overs on this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one wants to sit and watch Herbert and Mahomes not do anything. Yeah. I think you'd be silly not to try and, once again, you're going to hear this a lot from me this year, bet on your stars, man. You bet on these players that have the talent. They're stars for a reason. They're talented players for a reason. They're the ones that are going to do something. So I want to toss in something that I think is going to happen tonight. This is a big prop ticket for me. Sometimes I like to go big on the Thursday night games or the Monday night games because there's only one of them.
Game, yeah.
So you only go eyes good with a screen for one game. Yeah. But I would do a risky, and you guys can mix and match this one. You can mix and match our picks, and you can also cater to yourself. So you could bring it down to a more safer, which probably recommended if you're just getting off and trying to make some money to get ahead, to a 4-prop ticket. Some people do a 3-prop ticket. I'm doing a big 6-prop ticket on this one here that I think will potentially hit. You guys can also get a free $10 bet credits on a lot of these websites, and lots of promotions going on for getting a free bet.
Absolutely.
So,
and like we said before, a lot of these odds are on multiple of the sites. We use Bet365 mostly for our bets, but a lot of these odds you can find them on all the betting sites you guys use.
I've been seeing these odds, by the way. They've been. Who should you start this week? We got a question here from Sticky Bulb.
Oh,
who should I start this week?
Isaac Gaines.
Jeff Wilson Jr. or Christian Kirk? I want to just come out and say and answer this question really quickly, guys.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Appreciate it.
I like Christian Kirk.
I love Christian Kirk.
I like where Lawrence, it was said in the preseason that he was looking out for Kirk as his safety blanket. He came out, he said he was super impressed with Kirk. They paid Kirk like an elite receiver. That does mean something because it means that organization is paying him.
They're investing.
They're investing their money into him. Yeah. Saying, you know what? We are spending money because we think this guy's an elite receiver. They're going to try and make themselves not look stupid by drawing up a lot of plays for Kirk. You saw that last week, man. Over 100 yards, tons of targets. Definitely, you want to keep Kirk in your lineup. If he doesn't pan out, don't sweat it. The good weeks from Kirk are going to continue to roll. Yeah. They're building in that chemistry between Kirk and Lawrence.
That's a great take.
So Jeff Wilson Jr.
Tough,
you see,
man.
The coach came out and he said some people are going to have to step up.
Yeah. San
Francisco's notorious for not giving a shit about your fantasy running backs. Yeah. They are going to continue to run the shit out of Debo, and that is going to be a pain in your ass. So, if you're at the 5-yard line and you're sitting there with Jeff Wilson Jr. in the game, do you think that he's 100% getting that carry, or do you think it can be an option to Trey Lance? Do you think it can be an option to Debo? Do you think it could be a slant to Kittle? There's way too many risk factors for a guy that's probably going to have to pay off with a tutty to get you that stats. He might blow up. You never know. He's a good running back. But Christian Kirk, to me, that's a safe pick if you want to go with the safe pick.
That's a great take. So I'd like to add my take on this. I think Jeff Wilson is a great waiver pickup to use your claim on because he is going to be technically the RB1 on that team for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, of course.
And that on a run-first team, that's very essential. That's very crucial. Now, Davis Price, their second-round pick from this year.
Yeah.
He wasn't dressed last week. He's going to be dressed presumably this week. So he's going to be worked in. They got Mason in there. They're going to work him in as well.
Exactly.
And you got Debo running the ball. I like Jeff Wilson in a flex, but I'm assuming if you're asking about a wide receiver and a running back question in the same question, you're asking about who to put in your flex. I'd be starting Christian Kirk in the flex over Jeff Wilson. I believe you also mentioned Rashard Penny as well. Penny is going up against the 49ers rush defense this week, who shut down David Montgomery last week. Yeah. So I would not start Penny or Jeff Wilson. I'd be starting Christian Kirk in the flex.
Yeah?
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Penny, I'm not going to touch on that. I love Rashard Penny. That guy is sick. I think they should have ran the ball more with him.
Thanks for the question.
Thanks for the question, man. Appreciate it. So back to what I'm thinking for my props here. So the way I look at it, Herbert, one of my favorite quarterbacks. Brady, obviously my favorite quarterback, being a Patriots fan. I think Herbert is going to be tough to get these yards, but he's barely going to get over his 282.5 passing yards in the match. The reason why I think he's going to go over this is not because it's anything other than the fact that he has to. Mahomes is just so much firepower to deal with. They're going to have to pass the ball, guys. They're going to have to pass the ball. If they don't move the ball against the Chiefs, they're not going to win. Also, keep in mind that passing the ball, even if they're down 20 points in this game, they're probably still going to play it out. Sometimes you see these teams that kind of give up. This is expected to be a high-scoring team. These teams are going to be playing for the long run this game. They're going to continue passing it down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. They're not going to start giving up. This is a heavy rivalry game between 2 of the biggest upcoming quarterbacks. You're not going to see these guys let off the pedal like you see in some of these games where it just tailors off and they start running the ball off for the other team to win. I don't think it's going to be one of these games. I think these are 2 way too competitive quarterbacks. So I think, Herbert on the over. The reason why I went with Herbert instead of Mahomes is because Mahomes is set at 300. Yeah. I don't think that, I think it's safer for Herbert at 282. I think you're getting a little bit of a discount without Keenan Allen. He also didn't hit over 282 last week. And generally speaking, when something doesn't hit one week, it's likely to hit more the next week. Yeah. Especially in a game like this, it's rare that you see Herbert not go over 285 3 weeks in a row, 2 weeks in a row, both against high-scoring teams.
That's a great take right there. Yeah.
So I'm taking that one. Yeah. I'm big, and this is a bit risky, guys. I'm big on Austin Eckler. I think he's going to hit both over on the rushing yards, 54.5. I think he's going to also hit over on his receiving yards of 37.5. You can either mix that with receptions, whatever have you. It is 4.5, so it's a little hefty for me. But to me, when I see 4.5 receptions, that's a positive note. It means that they're expecting him to get at least 4 receptions. I think he can take those 4 receptions at a minimum of 40 yards. I like that prop for the receiving yards for Austin Eckler and the rushing yards for Austin Eckler.
So does that make his rushing and receiving combined at 95?
Rushing and receiving combined is actually set at 98.
Oh, it's 98 now.
So you gain an extra 4 yards from doing it individually, and you gain some extra odds there, guys. Really hard. It was almost impossible for him to hit both of them without going over. You'd have to be really losing by a yard or 2. Yeah. I like Mike Williams over 66.5. I think this is a bet on your star moment.
Yeah,
guys.
No Keenan Allen tonight.
If you're going over on the Herbert, sometimes, guys, you got to look at what you're betting on. Yeah. You're not betting under on Herbert and over on Mike Williams. You're not betting over on Mike Williams and under on Herbert. Yeah. You're just setting yourself up to cancel yourself out. Think of a game plan, the way you think the game is going to go, and focus in on what you think that game is going to happen, and then bet according to how your thought process works. Because remember, guys, you get one prop wrong, you ruin your entire ticket. So you want to make sure that you find out the way that you think the game's going to be. If you think it's going to be a stout defensive game, bet on your unders. You think it's going to be a high-scoring game, bet on your overs.
That's great
so
advice.
I am going to go over for Mike Williams. I'm going to go simply 2 touchdowns, or over 1.5 touchdowns for Justin Herbert. The game's set about like 54 over for the over-under money line. Yeah. Don't think they're going to rush for 3 of those touchdowns rushing.
2 touchdowns is not a lot, especially
2. 1 can be a pass to Eckler, still counts. And then last, I'm going to do, I am going to mix in a Kansas. I need to mix in a Kansas here. Kelsey over receptions, 6.5 receptions in the match. Gives me something, that one's a little risky. gives me something to watch on the Kansas side of the ball, and it's one that I do like on the
Now,
Kansas
I'd like to add Kelsey's line at the beginning, last night when I checked, was 7.5. Now it's 6.5. Guys, sometimes you're going to see with certain players, you're going to be like, oh, it's just one catch, right? Just 1 or 2 extra yards.
Yeah.
Sometimes that means everything. A lot of our prop bets this weekend, we are off on our predictions by literally a couple yards, like 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah, I mean, you see all that with I have Herbert over 282. He got 280. Yeah. Allen even getting injured before he got those extra 3 yards last week. These things matter, guys.
So that less catch for Kelsey is huge. So if you can, smash the 6.5, because I think he's going to probably get between 7 and 9 receptions.
That's pretty good, man. I like that. And I'm just going to finish off. I did some free bet, guys. I want to give you a little bit more information on the Kansas side of the ball. This one here, I did it. It was just mostly like things that I think might happen. I think Pat Mahomes might go over 27.5. I think he's just going to throw the ball all over the place, right? Receptions to receptions, doesn't matter where it goes. I think he's going to do little checkdowns. I think he's going to do lots of things. Pat Mahomes is one of those quarterbacks that can easily come away with 10 completions in the first quarter. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to go over 58.5. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to go under 45.5 rushing yards. That's not a lot of rushing yards. I think he's going to go under. Why? They're mixing in Isaiah Pacheco way too much for my liking.
And Jerick McKinnon.
You got Jerick McKinnon. You got Khalil Mack. You got Joey Bosa. I don't like Clyde Edwards-Helaire to be running out the clock.
Yeah.
And then also, you can also tap into Mike Williams receptions or Josh Palmer yards.
Nice.
Lots of props there, guys. I'm getting a lot of props that I like. So I covered a lot of players there. So Matt, enough about me. What do you think?
I have a pretty similar mindset. You go with your stars. I'm taking Mike Williams over yards. I'm taking Herbert over 1.5 touchdowns. I'm taking Kelsey over 6.5 receptions. His yardage is set at like 79 yards. That scares me. That is a lot. Whenever there's a player's receptions, even with Kelsey's talent level, it's over 70. That's when it scares me.
Yeah.
And against the Chargers too, he's most likely going to be matched up against Derwin James, who's one of the best covers in the league. Now, I know I came out last week and I was like, Jair Alexander is going to cover Jefferson. He's going to have a rough game. And then most of the game, Jair was walking around with this sour look on his face like, I hate my life.
Yeah.
So, matchups don't always mean outcomes, but you got Derwin James. You have J.C. Jackson, who's back this week. They have a really nasty secondary.
Is he back this week?
He's back, yeah.
Okay.
He's expected to play. They're going to have a game plan to try and shut down Kelsey. You can't shut down Travis Kelsey. He's integrated into that offense. He's an integral part. So I'm taking the Kelsey over. For fantasy purposes...
You taking him over on yards as well?
No, just receptions, just this time.
So I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
Do you think he will go over 7 receptions and under 79 yards, though?
Under 78 yards.
Yeah?
Per se. Yeah.
So you think you're going to pepper?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
For fantasy purposes, I like to piggyback off what you said about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you guys own Edwards-Helaire, I'd be monitoring this game and seeing what the usage is for Isaiah Pacheco, because Pacheco had a couple more carries than Edwards-Helaire last game, but that was only because it was mostly garbage time because the Chiefs were already up big by like halftime.
Yeah.
So they were just kind of trying to run off the clock.
Could happen.
It could happen,
yeah.
But if you own Edwards-Helaire, you're probably a little bit nervous seeing those numbers from last week.
Yeah.
And I would monitor it, man. If he gets the bulk of the work today in a contested game, maybe try and sell high on him in fantasy, honestly, if you can get good value for him.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
If you can try and swap him for a James Robinson, I would probably take James Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Etienne. Obviously, you guys know that. But yeah.
More opportunity, though. Opportunity is big in fantasy over...
Yeah, you're right.
Hilaire's in a 3-person committee. Robinson's in a 2-person committee, and he's...
Pacheco really put a wrench in that guy.
Honestly, he's so good. Pacheco's so good.
He's doing really well.
Jerick McKinnon's looking fast, too. Like, I don't like Hilaire's upside. So that's just my take. And those are my bets right there. I think I had 4 of them there.
Yeah. Anything? Is there anything else that you wanted to add in terms of your bets? Or are you going to keep it just at 4?
I will also add 2 little milestones. If you go to Bet365, you can bet on player milestones.
Yeah.
It's just like little dinky stats that you can bet on.
Helps bring your overall plus up, so you get a higher payout.
Yeah,
without breaking it into a huge number. You can do something like 2 receptions. Something really easy that is going to hit.
Yeah. So I think Eckler is going to average between 12 and 15 carries in this game. So I would be taking the over on 10 rush attempts. I wouldn't take more than 15. That's a little scary. So between 10 and 15 is a good number for him. For Edwards-Helaire, I'm taking over 5 carries. 5's not a lot. 10 I would stay away from. But 5, he should be able to get 5 carries in this game.
Yeah. Barring injury.
Barring injury, yes.
All right, so let's run through... Matt and I are going to run through our hunch picks, guys. Just kind of the way that we think the game's going to flow for the games this week. Because we want to keep our Sunday morning video prop.
And those will be going out at 11 o'clock. Sorry we weren't able to get the 1 o'clocks out in time. Hopefully people were able to watch, get some help for the afternoon and the evening games. We're going to start getting those videos out earlier at 11 o'clock. We're still learning, guys. We're still trying to figure things out. But hopefully we can get all the picks out before while you're drinking your coffee, watching Sunday morning prime time,
Exactly.
You can start doing your bets, and by 1 o'clock you'll have all your bets down, and it's a fun time, guys.
Yeah. The good news is that we actually, got our props out, so that way you guys can see that we're actually legit, and we actually got all of them right.
Panthers, Giants, what do you see? Any relevancy here? We're just going to breeze through these. If there's any fancy implications or who you think's going to win.
Saquon Barkley, guys. Wow.
Yep.
Looking good. I like what I see on Saquon Barkley. Yep. I think he's going to continue that trend of getting a touchdown this week.
Yeah.
I like that. Guys, I've been saying this for years. I don't like Baker Mayfield as starting quarterback.
He's still the same. New team. It looks like it's going to be the same story.
I feel like if he continues down this path of being so bad,
he'll be irrelevant soon.
And I think he's just going to
he'll
fake an injury.
Yeah.
Seriously. I see this all the time. I think he's just going to oh shit, I'm injured again. Oh no, give me another year to get ready. That's fine. But man, seriously.
CMC probably going to rebound.
CMC's going to rebound.
If you own,
100% he's going to
question for you, fantasy. If you, as you saw with Baker with his receivers last year, Odell obviously wanted to trade out because he never got the ball.
Yeah.
Well, he did get the ball, but it was way over his head.
Yeah.
Fantasy question: if you drafted DJ Moore, are you scared right now with Baker Mayfield? What you saw out of him in Game 1 with Robbie Anderson blowing up and.
Yeah. Anywhere that Baker Mayfield goes, I'm scared, guys. I will come on camera and say that I've been that way when he was at the Browns. Anywhere Baker Mayfield is, I am not pumped about that scenario. Just wide receiver, not being happy about it.
Yeah.
These guys are the professionals. These OBJ and stuff like that, and when they're coming out saying hey, it's not me, it's the quarterback. That's a lot of it seems a little diva to do that. You shouldn't throw your teammate under the bus under any reason. But
hey man, the guy's just speaking facts.
What's weird though is Robbie Anderson, surprisingly, the one guy who was fuck this, I don't want Baker here, literally had the best game. So that was pretty funny.
Are you starting him this week in fantasy?
No, I'm not.
No?
I mean, you gotta start your stars when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. I think CMC's gonna get around 20 touches. I think DJ Moore will definitely rebound, but I'm scared. I don't like that scenario.
Yeah.
It still scares me. I'm still scared of the fact that Baker's the starting quarterback because they're gonna start running that offense through CMC to try and get wins, guys.
Good takes. So you're saying Barkley is gonna have a good game. CMC. DJ Moore rebound. Those are your
DJ Moore rebound.
I like those picks.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a CMC recovery game. Barkley's going to have a good game. Carolina's defense is good, but Barkley's going to eat. Yeah, let's move on to New England Steelers. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be low scoring, I think.
Do you think so?
We got two crappy offenses.
Yeah.
And it's going to be. Is it?
I'm going to say that the Patriots take this one, guys.
Yeah, I think so too.
Patriots take this one.
TJ Watt's out on defense. That's a huge loss.
TJ Watt's out. I think you're going to see New England run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, because Mac Jones looked brutal last week.
Kind of get back to some ground and pound football. Mac Jones just got destroyed last week. Being a Patriots fan, they got a nickel and dime this one. I think it is going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game. All things considered, I think you're right on that side. I think Pittsburgh, they got to really be careful.
Najee's game-time decision. Yeah, he's very injury-prone already in week 1. That's not a good sign.
Yeah. I think that we're going to see a little bit of a better game from George Pickens this game, guys. I think, maybe they get him involved in the offense a little bit more. What a talented player. You didn't see much of him. He was a huge dud week 1, so I'm going to go George Pickens. Low-scoring game. I think the Patriots take this one, though. Nice. I think they get that through nickel and diming, and you may see one big play from Mac Jones, and then you will see some running the ball.
That's great. I think Trubisky is going to have a bad game. It's going to be rough. And I think Ramondre Stevenson's gonna run into the end zone this week.
Nice.
That's my predictions
for
that game. Buccaneers Saints. Ooh, poor Tom. I feel bad for Brady. So sounds like he's gonna have like almost no weapons, or he's gonna have half a weapon. Julio Jones is questionable. Russell Gage is questionable.
Yeah.
Godwin's out, and he's got Mike Evans, and Fournette is questionable as well.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think, they're going to, I think they're going to win.
You still think they're going to win?
I still think they're going to win. Tom Brady's just such a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think this is where Jameis Winston, revenge. This is a crazy game, guys. This is Jameis Winston against his old team. You also see Fournette in this one here. I think you're going to see Tom Brady not do anything crazy. I think Mike Williams is going to have a bit of a harder game. I think they're definitely going to focus in on him a little bit more.
On who?
Mike Williams or Mike Evans? Sorry,
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Just because they got Lattimore.
That great rivalry between Lattimore and Evans. They hate each other.
Tyrann Mathieu is not to be played around with, guys. This guy's an elite safety.
Yeah.
So I think Evans is going to get overshadowed. I think he's not going to have a huge game.
Yeah.
I think that the Buccaneers will still pull this out.
Yeah.
By doing their checkdowns, getting other players involved, the way that Tom Brady always managed to get it done. And just because you're going to see defense wins championships in this game here, I think Jameis Winston is good for a interception.
Oh, well, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara didn't look good last game against a weak Falcons team. Are you worried about him against the Bucs?
I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara in the slightest as a player. I think the talent's there.
Yeah.
Against the Bucs, I think they're going to probably end up checking it down and trying to get him involved. I think it's going to be a harder defense. They're going to find out this Saints offense, this Bucs defense is a very different breed than what they're used to playing, guys. I think they know Jameis Winston inside out, a lot of those players. I think this is going to be a tough game for New Orleans Saints players. But I think Alvin Kamara, I think he's going to do what Alvin Kamara does, looking at around 50 yards rushing, looking at around, 4 or 5 receptions. He's going to get those PPR stats that you're looking for just because they need to.
Nice.
I am a little bit worried about anyone not named Mike Thomas outside of the Saints. I don't know if they're going to be able to pepper Landry like they did last week.
Yeah.
I think Landry might be looking to come back down to earth on this game here.
That's a good pick. I like to add on Tom Brady. If you draft him as your QB1, you have to start him. But if you have other options, depends on how deep your league is. Like if you have Carson Wentz playing Detroit Lions this week, might be a better option over the Tom Brady, only because of all the injuries to all the wide receivers, and they're playing a good Saints defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. So those are my takes. Jets and Browns.
Jets and Browns. Wow, guys. Hope you're excited for this one because this one's going to be boring as fuck.
Brissett versus Joe Flacco. Oh, boy. Good times.
You know what? Jesus Christ, man. Like, Brissett and Flacco. I said it last week. This is one of the hunch picks that I got right. Flacco's a decent passer, man.
Yeah.
The guy can pass the ball better
over 30 completions.
He's better than Brissett.
Yeah, man.
Love of God,
Oh,
Brissett.
man, that was brutal.
Browns they run the ball, man.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I think Amari Cooper has to get over 50 yards this game. I think if he doesn't get over 50 yards this game, me as a dynasty Amari Cooper owner will start ringing sound bell alarms. I just it's going to be one of those things where you're like, just make it go back. Please give me my wide receiver 1 back, my wide receiver 2 back, my wide receiver 3 back, because Amari Cooper I am concerned about.
Yeah.
I need him to go over 50 yards this week, guys. I think he will. He will.
Okay.
I think Nick Chubb never bet against that guy. That guy is just a bowling ball of a running back.
Now, as expected, Kareem Hunt vultured 2 touchdowns. I mean, you know when drafting Nick Chubb, you're going to have to deal with that. I'm starting Kareem Hunt in my flex in one of my leagues. I think he's viable. You can play both Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I think you'll get points off that.
Yeah.
Last week you made a prediction. You said Myles Garrett's going to get a sack, and he did.
Yeah.
That was one of your green lights right there. And I'm going to take a Myles Garrett sack on Joe Flacco.
Holy shit, you think this guy's going to break the sack record? There you go. He got 2 sacks last week. I think he's going to get another sack this week. It's going to be for 3 on the season. That's a nice prediction. Guys, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing out of the Breece Hall, Michael Carter so far. Michael Carter's so talented. It was really surprising to me when they drafted Breece Hall, like they needed Breece Hall.
Yeah,
I feel like that team has so many holes at so many different positions that Breece Hall to complement a really good Michael Carter was surprising to me. But Michael Carter, man, that guy's got talent. Yeah. He's there. He's doing the PPR things that I like what I'm seeing out of him. I still think, now who do you think is going to win that game? I think the Browns still somehow squeak it out.
Yeah.
It's
not going to be a fun game, but it's going to be a grind out for sure.
Yeah. Now, this one's going to be super fun.
Dolphins-Ravens?
Well, let's go Dolphins-Ravens. Let's go Dolphins-Ravens.
I'm just going through the list.
Oh, I see. Okay. Dolphins-Ravens. It will be fun. This one's going to be fun.
Yeah. I think Miami defense is going to play Lamar hard. They're a tough defense. They played the Patriots tough last week.
Guys, I think Lamar Jackson, does he run the ball this week, or do you think he's still saving his legs for that contract?
For real, man. What was that? He only had, against the Jets, he only had 4 yards.
Yeah.
14 rushing yards, something like that. Come on, man.
I like Mark Andrews this game.
Yeah, he's due for a rebound.
I think Mark Andrews due for a rebound.
Question for you. Are you believing in the 1 week wonder, perhaps Devin Duvernay off waivers? Week 1 waiver darling? Are you believing in this, or is this just a week 1 fade?
I'm not saying he's a fade by any means. I like Rashad Bateman more.
Yeah.
I like Rashad Bateman more
That's good
this season than I like Duvernay.
Miami side of the ball. Chase Edmonds didn't look good last week. Mostert didn't look good last week.
Mostert didn't look good. Chase Edmonds was actually okay because he didn't crank out a bunch of receptions.
He contributed in PPR, but
PPR is good. Tyreek Hill, guys. Keep it going. Yeah. Keep the love going.
Jalen Waddle too. Those guys are going to be viable.
Keep Tyreek Hill. Keep the Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
I like what I'm seeing out of this Miami Dolphins team so far, guys.
They're competitive. They're fun.
They're fun. They're a fun team to watch. That's going to be an awesome game to watch, guys.
I'll probably be tuning into that.
I'll be tuning into that one big time.
Commanders and Detroit Lions.
I love this one. This is fun.
Oof.
I love this.
Now, I'd like to point out, I mentioned this to my girlfriend Jordan last night. I asked her a trivia question. I said, Here's a question for you. Who finished second in fantasy points for quarterback last week after Josh Allen? I was like, I'll give you a second. She went through a bunch of quarterbacks. She couldn't figure it out. I'm like, you're going to laugh when you hear this. Right?
Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sell her out, Matt.
Oh, I'm calling her out for sure.
Sell her out.
She got it, though. She got it. I will give her creds. She got it. Carson Wentz was finished with the second most fantasy points last week after Josh Allen. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Over Herbert, over Mahomes.
Man, and Jordan's such a competitor when it comes to this team, man.
Oh,
like,
100%.
I think she's beating us in like half of our stuff, and we're gonna have to get her on for some takes because she wins a lot of. She actually does quite well.
We're gonna have to start charging her more.
Man, this game's gonna be super pumped, exciting.
Now DeAndre Swift is has a questionable tag right now. He's dealing with an ankle injury.
There's some drama going on in my keeper leagues around DeAndre Swift. People are just loving this guy. They're going crazy over him. People are trying to sell him for super high. I'm wait and see approach type guys, you know.
They're trying to sell on Swift?
Sell on Swift, selling him for like King's ransom. I'm talking like
I would too.
Debo in a first for Swift. Ooh.
His ceiling is like astronomical.
His ceiling is huge, guys.
But injury prone.
Injuries, you know, anytime you see a running back that gets injured multiple times, their shelf life is not super huge, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like DeAndre Swift. He's good. I don't think he has a huge week this week.
Oh,
that's a huge, bold prediction there, guys. I don't think he has a huge week. I think the Washington Commanders actually pull Detroit Lions back a little bit. You know, I don't know if they will. I'm not going to comment on who wins or not because I'm not historically a huge Wentz believer. I think he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. But I do think that the Detroit Lions are not scoring 30 points this game. I don't think they're scoring anywhere near 30 points this game. I think that they maybe pepper the ball down the field a little bit. Yeah. I think you see a little bit more of a lower scoring game than what we were used to last week from two of these teams that are just blowing out. Now, mind you, both the defenses obviously played poorly, right? To let up that many points, but Jalen Hurts is a completely different beast than Carson Wentz, guys.
Yeah.
You know, this is a guy that's a dual threat. This is a guy that Carson Wentz is not running out of the pocket for 90 yards.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's going to be a little bit of a different scoring game than what we're used to. Yeah. And I think, as a bold prediction, obviously temper expectations. When I say Swift not huge, I don't think he's going to get 0 points. I don't think he's going to get only 5 points. I just don't think he's going to put up 33 points again. You might see, 50 yards and another 30 yards receiving.
That is a bold prediction, my friend. I hope that doesn't come true because I have Swift and I need him in my league. But
What do you think is going to happen for this game?
I think he's going to ball out for 30 points. That's just me, though.
You think Swift's going to ball out again for 30 points?
If he's hobbling around on a sore ankle, I don't know what's going to happen, man. Colts, Jaguars. This one seems a bit like a trap game to me. I think people expect the Colts to blow them out, but I mean they tied the Texans, man.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville beat them last week to beat them out of the playoffs.
Here's a question for you: do you think Travon Walker's going to have an impact on the Jonathan Taylor rushing game?
No.
No.
Jonathan Taylor is the workhorse. He's the bell cow. Naheem Hines is the pass catcher on third downs. That's it.
Do you still like Pittman?
Pittman, man, the guy's gonna blow up this year, man. Breakout season.
We were saying that before.
Jacksonville. I was right about James Robinson eating into Etienne's fantasy value. I think he out-carried him by like 10 carries or something like that. He looked way more explosive. ATN came through at the end with like some garbage receiving yards. But if you drafted Travis Etienne, I don't know what to tell you right now. It's still early, but I'd be worried you drafted him in the 4th or 5th round.
For a redraft? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. James Robinson's going to eat this year.
So you think that's decent predictions? I gotta say I do agree with one thing, which is I think Jonathan Taylor's matchup proof.
Yeah,
he's foolproof.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville Jaguars. I told you, I said it earlier. Someone asked me a question.
Sticky Bulb, my brother Isaac Danes, shout out brother.
I like Christian Kirk.
I like Christian Kirk in the flex. Yeah, I don't trust any other receivers, even though Lawrence spread the ball around a lot more in this game. I like Christian Kirk.
And I do agree with you, Matt. I think this is Pittman's year to break out. Matt Ryan's focusing on him. I love that. Yeah. So much fun to be a Michael Pittman owner, which I am in my redraft money league.
Falcons Rams. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think this game is going to be a blowout. Rams, I think, are mad. They got destroyed, embarrassed at home in week 1.
Yeah.
I think they're going to wreck Atlanta.
I mean, Rams are going to win.
Aaron Donald sitting at his kitchen table. He's just like Mariota. Can't wait to eat.
Yeah, I think
I'm benching Cam Akers this week in my league. I need to see what goes on there. If it was just like a 1 week benching, or if this is something to be concerned about. Yeah. And Allen Robinson. So Sean McVay came out and he made. I don't know if you guys remember last year with Robert Woods. Everyone was worried about Robert Woods. He wasn't. Cooper Kupp was getting all the receptions first couple weeks, and then McVay came out and said, "No, like we need to get Robert Woods the ball." The very next game, Robert Woods had like 12 receptions or something like that. Like he got so involved.
Yeah.
I think Robinson, they're gonna get him involved. I don't know about the rest of the season, but for next week, McVay came out and made those comments that yes, we need to get Allen Robinson the ball. So I think they're going to try and involve him more against Atlanta. I think he probably get 4 receptions for 50 to 60 yards.
I think that's a great pick. I definitely agree with that one. I agree with the fact that they're probably going to blow up the Falcons. I think that Kyle Pitts gets more than 19 yards this week. I think that's a safe pick, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What happened to my boy Kyle Pitts, man? I'm so excited about this.
They hate him. They hate him on that team, man.
I have him on almost all my leagues.
So much upside.
I need to see Kyle Pitts over 50 yards this game, guys. That's one for me.
Now, if
I think Cordarrelle Patterson does not have 100-yard rushing against the Rams or anywhere close to that.
That's a good pick.
You know.
So if Pitts doesn't go over 50 yards, are you getting worried?
No, I mean the talent's there, man. I mean they gotta figure it out one way or another. Yeah. This guy is the future of the tight end in Atlanta. Yeah. He is a prototype beast. He's basically a wide receiver who's 6'6", the tight end position. They gotta figure it out. That's not on Pitts, man. This is on them figuring out how to get Pitts involved. Yeah.
Seahawks 49ers. I think this is going to be a divisional tight game in San Fran.
I like this game. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah. For Seattle, I think they're going to struggle on offense. Geno Smith, he didn't throw an interception this past Monday night, which is shocking because I think he's worked on that, but he's not a new quarterback. I think he just had a good Monday night game at home. I think he's going to struggle against the 49ers. I think they're going to sack him a couple times.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think a couple sacks on Geno Smith this week. That's a big one.
Yeah.
I like a Nick Bosa sack for that one there. I also like San Francisco rebound to win that game. I think they freaking have to. Yeah. I think Trey Lance needs to figure out how to pass the ball.
Yeah.
And
I'll give him a write-off because that last game was like literally in a torrential downpour.
I'm going to give him a write-off. I think this game, Trey Lance is going to pass the ball.
Jamal Adams is out now. Yeah, you have no excuse, man. You have to ball out now. It's time. We answered the question about Jeff Wilson Jr., whether to start him or not. I mean, you can, but like it's risky because Debo runs the ball. They got Davis Price. They're just signed on. Like
there's something more annoying, guys,
and Trey Lance
when you're playing a running back in a running back slot.
Yeah.
And there's literally someone else on the field playing running back, and you're looking there and you're like,
yeah.
That's not his number. What the fuck? Like, why is he not there? Like, you know, like when I think everyone was doing like the super boost with Javonte Williams, and they're looking on the field, and they're like, that's fucking Melvin Gordon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so unfun. And just save yourself the headache and wait and see. They run 20 times and he blows up for 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. I'll say I'm wrong, whatever. But save yourself the pain.
Texans, Broncos. I think Houston, you know, they're playing with heart. I like these guys. You know, I like the way they play for their coach. Like, that's pretty cool. I think the fact they tied was shocking against the Colts. I think everybody was shocked.
I think we see a rebound from Nico Collins this game, guys. I think he's going to get a little bit more involved in the offense. I also think that I really dislike what I saw from their usage of Damian Pierce.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they love Rex Burkhead back there, and he's going to be a thorn in the side all year. So that's scary.
That's very scary, guys, because they were running Rex Burkhead more than Damian Pierce.
Yeah.
And Damian Pierce is more of a pure runner, and Rex Burkhead is the third down guy. Yeah. So then you have Rex Burkhead sometimes playing 3 downs. That's not good.
No.
You know? And then from Denver's side of the ball,
free Javonte, man. Please free the man. The guy's so talented. You could tell in the Monday Nighter, his burst, he was mowing guys down. Like, I know that they're saying they're gonna split with Melvin, but come on, man. Like, he's so much better.
Yeah.
Like, and stop vulturing at the goal. Stop putting Melvin Gordon at the goal line every time.
At the goal line,
I know they both did. It was so brutal.
Literally fumbles, you know, cause so much pain. My
ADP prediction though of Cortland Sutton looking pretty good.
Looking good, yeah.
So
I like. I think I like Denver to win this game, obviously.
Yeah. They should have a rebound game.
Yeah.
Cardinals and Las Vegas Raiders.
You go ahead.
Damn.
Cool, man.
Devontae Adams, another 10 catches this game. Nobody can stop him on the Cardinal side of the ball.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is going to go ham.
Yeah. I think he's going to get that.
Now,
not 10 catches, but I think he's going to definitely do really well.
Yeah. I had a couple questions actually. A couple of people asked me.
Yeah.
What do you do with the rest of the wide receivers on the Raiders? With Waller, Renfrew, do you start these guys? After you saw the usage of Devontae Adams last week?
You start Waller.
If he's your main tight end, you have to start him.
You start Waller. Just tight end is a barren wasteland when it comes to positions.
Yeah.
You have to start him, especially against Arizona, which is notoriously not that great against tight ends. You definitely start Waller. I think the Raiders actually come away with this one. Renfrew. It depends what you have. You're usually starting Renfrew because he's a PPR guy and he gets his 4 to 5 catches. I think he rebounds this game and gets 4 to 5 catches.
Yeah.
I think Adams won't have obviously 170-yard game again. I think he will have still a very good game, but I also think the Raiders are going to win this game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, I think Kyler Murray has a lot to prove. I think Derek Carr and the Raiders have a lot to prove. I think this is going to go back and forth. I think anytime you see someone like Kyler Murray, who is not the best, but he's actually really good, put up like 180 yards passing, whatever he had last week, I think that these are the games that are going to make up the majority of his stats at the end of the year. When you look at him, you say, top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
So these are the games that he's going to put in at 250 yards passing. So I'm a little concerned about Arizona's, Zach Kurtz, got that wrong last week.
I was wrong about Hollywood Brown.
I think this week that he's going to get back to Hollywood Brown a little bit better. I think Hollywood Brown's going to have a decent game this game. I'm going to go Hollywood Brown decent game again.
Nice.
For the second week, I have to see something from the Arizona Cardinals.
That's a good pick, man.
Yeah.
They look dysfunctional though, Hopkins. They look very dysfunctional. Dortch is taking over. He's a big boy, but
Murray's doing this thing where he gets the ball and then 2 seconds in he panics and looks to see where he can
He's
run,
a panic quarterback.
and then runs to the side and then throws it away.
Yeah.
It's man, sit in the pocket.
Yeah.
The key is to throw the ball in 2 seconds, not to sit and then scramble every 2 seconds. He's just always looking to scramble. It's really, I feel like he's taking a step backwards almost. It's like Kyler Murray's going backwards from where he used to be as a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's making me really sad because he has all the talent in the world, but he's not trusting in his arm.
Yeah.
He needs to trust in his arm, that guy, man.
That's a good take, man. This game is going to be hard on my heartstrings. True to my heart. My two favorite teams, Cowboys and the Bengals. Rest in peace, Dak. This game would be different if Dak was playing. Now they have Cooper Rush. Now they're screwed. I think they're screwed.
I was a CeeDee Lamb owner. I am starting to get annoyed. I'm not going to say worried.
I'd be worried.
I'm going to say annoyed. This is a guy that is bona fide star, doesn't hit it. Bona fide star, doesn't hit it. Prescott injured. Well, Prescott's back. And then he has one bad game, and then he doesn't hit it, and now he's back to Cooper Rush. Bengals take this game, guys. And I think it's a blowout. I think Bengals take this game, and I don't think it's close. That's a bold prediction.
Ooh, that
I
is
think
a bold prediction.
Joe Burrow comes out. He throws to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They both get theirs. Both of them get theirs.
Higgins is injured.
Higgins is out this week. Is he officially out?
I'll check.
Let's check to see here.
Last report I read was that he wasn't expected to play.
Give us 1 second here, guys.
Yeah, questionable. Not practicing Thursday. We can only wait for further reports on Friday's injury report.
Okay, so, I still think that Jamar Chase gets this week. Forget about Higgins, whatever, he's injured. And I think that Joe Mixon is good for a touchdown this week against the Dallas.
I'm going to go against you this week on the blowout. I think Cincinnati wins. I think Dallas's D is good enough to keep up.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think? If you had to guess on a score, the over-under sitting at 41.5, are you thinking over 41.5? I guess it's going to settle our differences here. Over 41.5 or under 41.5?
I'm thinking 28-14, so I'm thinking over.
28-14? See, this is why it's good that we fix this, because I think that's more of a blowout. I think 2 touchdowns plus is a blowout.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't constitute that as a blowout. I think 3 or 4, but yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page here, guys.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals win. I think we both think the Bengals win. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
That's a good call.
Right?
Last game. Aaron Rodgers. I own Chicago. Does he own Chicago again this week?
I mean, it'd be funny if he doesn't.
Yeah, it would be. Guy's such an asshole.
It'd be funny if he doesn't. It'd be even funnier if he does it now, because it essentially insinuates that Devontae Adams owned the Chicago Bears, and Aaron Rodgers in his later years is looking more and more like a product of Devontae Adams, rather than Devontae Adams looking more like a product of Aaron Rodgers. That was not a good look for Aaron Rodgers, man. That was a bad look for Aaron Rodgers this last week.
Give Vikings credit, though. They have a good defense.
I give him credit for not shitting on his receivers and actually being it's going to be done sometimes.
Oh, man, that one.
Finally, showing some humility and some class and realizing that he's playing with young receivers. But, bro, what you did in the offseason releasing that news on the draft day, taking away from those young players'
what are you
ability
doing?
Putting the tablets in. Man, you're making $50 million a year.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in the tabloids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He loves the attention, though. He loves it.
He didn't need to do that. I thought that Rodgers, my partner is a huge Packers fan. She's a Rodgers lover, believer. She thinks that she knows him a little bit more, and he's uber talented quarterback, uber talented. I do think that Alan
Lazard's due
has
back.
a good game, guys.
Yeah, I was going to take that as
And
well.
I'm loving what I'm seeing out of A.J. Dillon. I think the Green Bay Packers take this game over the Bears. I think that Alan Lazard gets involved. I think that A.J. Dillon does well. I think that Aaron Rodgers rebounds. But Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams is a different product, and do not get that confused. So I think the Packers come away with it. Justin Fields. Oh my God. Justin Fields, what are we going to do?
Well, it was a rain game. I give him.
Do we think that David Montgomery has a rebound game? That's the big question.
I think he does.
Yeah.
So
David Montgomery. Me, personally, I'm a little bit concerned about David Montgomery.
Oh, 100%.
I am starting to get concerned. I'm not going to even say annoyed. I'm going to say concerned.
Yeah.
Khalil Herbert is looking really good. Really good. And Montgomery does sometimes tend to get injured. Sorry guys, that is my boxer doggy. It is Arlo. It's not hot. It's okay, Arlo.
Anyways,
he's good.
That's great, guys. I think we covered all the games.
We have two more games.
One game. I think we can cover that.
We have Tennessee and then Buffalo and then Minnesota, Philly. Do you want to save those for Sunday?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, guys, we're going to save the Monday nights
for our props episode.
Our props episode, which is going to come out on Sunday. We're going to release it by 11 a.m. So if you're a betting person, whether you want to use free bets, whether you want like $10, $5, $100, $1,000, we are going to have our props predictions out on Sunday at 11 a.m. Now, this one here are our Hunch picks. So take what you want from this video, guys. Use what we thought. We were 69% right last week. And you can cater prospects to this, no problem, right? But if you want our actual 365 odds over unders, that's going to be for another day. That's going to be for Sunday. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, and I really appreciate the viewers, Handsome Fatty, Sticky Bulbs, and Jordan Seuss. Thank you so much for your questions, and any way we can help, we appreciate everything. I appreciate all the viewers and all support.
Yeah.
Love it.
Feel free to drop on the video if you want to look at this later and kind of go back. We will have a section out. Drop a comment, drop a like.
We're about to move up in the world. We're going to have a background banner soon. We're going to have a tablecloth. Guys, we're moving up, man. Like, it's only going up from here. And this is going to be so much fun.
We will put as much into this as we see to get it looking better, guys. But appreciate y'all for coming out, and we are going to sign off.